People were starting to say it's an East Coast, West Coast rivalry because it was people that's trying to make money. It was true people trying to make careers. It was people trying to get famous. It's that I don't want to be involved in stuff where it's negative stuff.
Hi, how do you do?
I need to talk to him.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Could everything we thought we knew about Justin Combs be a carefully staged illusion? Suge Knight just detonated a hip-hop landmine, and the fallout is wild. He's hinting that Justin might not even be Diddy's real son. Yeah, you heard that, right? This isn't just family drama. It's a full-blown identity crisis, wrapped in decades of industry secrets, and right at the center of this whisper war, Anthony Wolf Jones. He wasn't just Diddy's muscle, he was his shadow. His street consigliere, the guy who kept things clean while the cameras rolled. But now...
Do you think that Diddy is actually Justin's father?
I wasn't there, but
the rumors say Wolf wasn't just guarding the family. He was part of the family in ways no one had the guts to say out loud until now. We've all seen the side-by-side, the sharp jawlines, the bone structure, the way they walk like the street owns them. It's not just social media imagination anymore. Justin Combs and Wolf Jones look too alike to ignore. Reddit threads are flooded with facial match breakdowns, and digital sleuths are running frame-by-frame comparisons like it's a CIA investigation. Suge Knight didn't just fan the flames, he dropped a damn flamethrower from his prison cell. And suddenly, questions that were once whispered in barbershops are now blasting across TikTok timelines. But here's where it gets dark. Wolf didn't just vanish from Diddy's circle. He was erased. When he was killed in Atlanta in 2003, there was no press tribute, no Bad Boy Memorial, no RIP segment at the BET Awards, just silence. Then, not long after, Justin's rise began, neatly packaged as Diddy's golden child. But Suge, who knew both men, claims Wolf was way more than a hired hand. His version of that night, the night his best friend, Big Jake, was shot by Wolf, makes Wolf the centerpiece of a deadly turf war Diddy wanted scrubbed from the record. The timeline is where things start getting spooky. Justin was born in late 1993, and Wolf, he was very close to Misa Hilton, Justin's mother, during that exact window. Former Bad Boy staff have whispered for years that Misa and Wolf were often seen together alone behind closed doors, in ways that screamed more than business. Now there's talk of a pact, that Wolf and Misa agreed to keep the truth from Justin, to shield him from Wolf's dangerous world. If that's real, then Diddy either played along or played the long con, and then there's Misa, silent for years. But when Justin was arrested in 2023 for a DUI, she exploded. She lit Diddy up online, calling his lifestyle toxic and mocking his brand. Sell something healthy, she snapped. I'm sick of it. It felt less like a mad mom, more like a woman snapping under the weight of a lie. Maybe that meltdown wasn't just about Diddy being a bad dad. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe she was done hiding a 30-year secret that tied her, Wolf, and Justin into a buried legacy the industry refused to touch. Now Suge's not staying quiet. From behind bars, he flat out warned Diddy, your life is in danger, you know the secrets. No names, but no doubt either. He claims there's a room, a list, a history buried under velvet ropes and security guards. And if it gets out, this isn't just about one man's father, it's about the foundation of hip-hop. Suge isn't just ranting. He's building a case one that links deaths, betrayals, and bloodlines that don't match the stories we were sold. And that's why this theory is spreading like wildfire. Suge's not just throwing shade, he's weaving a conspiracy that cuts deep. What if Diddy erased Wolf from the narrative, not out of grief, but strategy? What if keeping Justin's true parentage hidden wasn't about love but legacy? Because the second that truth comes out, the whole Combs brand risks collapse. A paternity lie wouldn't just embarrass it, would detonate the myth of the mogul, the empire, the dynasty. And it doesn't help that Diddy's own former bodyguard, Gene Deal, keeps pouring gasoline on the fire. When asked, point-blank about the rumor, he didn't deny it, he just said, I wasn't there. In a scandal this deep, silence isn't protection, it's confirmation. Yeah. People say Justin looks like Wolf, and it's the silence after that sentence that hits like a gunshot. No denial, no laughter. Just that awkward pause that screams louder than any confirmation ever could. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't need to be spoken, it lives in the things people won't say. And now, even inside Diddy's house, the cracks are showing. Insiders say Justin has grown distant, cold, maybe even suspicious. And after those explosive LA mansion raids, the image of Justin in cuffs wasn't just a scandal, it was a signal. Something behind those luxury walls is falling apart, and it always leads back to that bloody night in Atlanta. Suge Knight won't let it go. He insists it was Wolf who pulled the trigger that killed Big Jake. Over a woman, a bathroom fight. Whatever it was, bullets flew and one man died, while the other lived just long enough to vanish from the history books. Suge never forgave. Diddy never addressed it. And Justin, he grew up in the shadow of it all, paraded in public, coached for the cameras, groomed as the heir to the empire. But what if that entire image was a smokescreen? What if Justin's real story was buried in that Atlanta bloodstain? What if Justin always felt it? That quiet question you ask yourself in the mirror when no one's around. What if the man he calls dad isn't the man who gave him his face, his mannerisms, his blood? What if everyone knew and never told him? Because when you lay the timeline out, piece by piece, the puzzle builds itself. Wolf was close to Misa when Justin was conceived. Suge says Diddy and Wolf had a rivalry that ran deeper than business. And now Suge's voice from prison is cutting through the noise like a blade. In hip-hop, truth doesn't die. It gets buried under the bodies of the men who got too close to it. And Misa Hilton, she's done playing quiet. That viral tirade after Justin's DUI wasn't just a frustrated mom ranting online, it felt like an earthquake. Sell something healthy, she spat at Diddy. I'm sick of it. Her rage wasn't new, it was pent up. Years of walking the tightrope, co-parenting with a global icon, keeping a secret that could append everything. If Wolf was really Justin's father, Misa made a mother's impossible choice: stay silent and protect her child's stability, or speak up and risk shattering his world. For decades, she chose silence. But silence has a cost. Now, her Instagram posts read like confessions masked as clapbacks, the carefully filtered selfies, the subtle jabs, the cryptic captions. They tell the story of a woman who's been carrying the weight of a lie for far too long. And while Diddy's protected by lawyers and NDAs and Suge's insulated by a prison wall, Misa is vulnerable, raw, real, which might make her the most dangerous voice in this entire story. Because if she does break her silence, if she confirms even a fraction of this rumor, Diddy's empire won't just crack, it'll collapse in real time. And Suge, he's pressing that detonator harder with every podcast. A man with nothing to lose, suddenly taking aim at Justin's paternity, past, and Diddy's legacy. Is it revenge, leverage, or just chaos for chaos' sake? Either way, he's doing it strategically. Diddy is drowning in lawsuits, facing federal heat, and Suge knows exactly when to strike. Their old East versus West beef wasn't just about music, was about dominance, and Wolf. He was the thread connecting both sides of the war. Once Diddy's protector, allegedly Jake's killer, maybe Justin's father. There's a new theory now, whispered in back rooms and posted anonymously online, that Wolf wasn't just killed in a club shootout, he was silenced, that his death made it easier to push a neater narrative. Diddy, the mogul, Justin the golden child. No loose ends, no bloodline scandals. But if Wolf really knew too much about the streets, the deals, the girls, and Justin, then his existence was a risk. A risk Diddy couldn't afford. And now, years later, with raids, leaked footage, and mounting legal disasters, that buried secret is clawing its way back into daylight. Because here's the truth, if even half of what's being whispered turns out to be real, then Diddy's not just facing a reputational nightmare, he's staring down the total collapse of a legacy. Suge Knight knows that. And by dragging Justin into the wreckage, by daring the world to question the one thing Diddy always protected his image, Suge may be playing his final, most devastating card. The kind of move that doesn't just destroy a man, it rewrites the story entirely. This isn't just gossip, it's a seismic hit to the last pillar Diddy had left. His family. Suge Knight isn't just telling stories, he's shaking the foundation. They never treated me fair, he growled from prison, throwing shade at the justice system and throwing fire at Diddy. And now, the golden boy himself, Justin Combs, is at the center of it all. The firstborn, the heir. His birthday bashes were televised. His name was on Ciroc ads, his face on Forbes lists. But what if the crown never really belonged to him? What if behind the glitz and branding lies a kid who's been trapped in a lie spun long before he could even say daddy? Because lately, Justin's moves have people talking. He's been distant, quiet, missing from red carpets, skipping the spotlight. Sources say he's been keeping low since the DUI and the raids. Not just because of legal pressure, but because he's digging. And if he starts asking questions not in a courtroom, but at a kitchen table, then what happens? Does Diddy break the myth? Does Misa finally break her silence? Or does the silence just continue wrapped in NDA's filtered Instagram posts and grainy birthday footage from a time when everything looked perfect? Because now, the speculation isn't dying, spreading. Every new TikTok theory, every blurry photo, every courtroom whisper is pulling tighter around one central question. Who is Justin Combs, really? Even people close to the circle are side-eyeing him. He's the oddball, one insider said. Different mom, different vibe, and maybe different father. So we're asking you, if Suge Knight's right, if Justin Combs is not Diddy's biological son, then what happens next? The empire, the name, the brand, the carefully manicured legacy, does it all collapse? Or have we been staring at the truth this whole time, hiding in plain sight behind designer glasses and family photo ops? Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this the final crack in Diddy's dynasty? Or just the beginning of hip-hop's? Most twisted truth finally unraveling. Subscribe now. Because trust us, the next bombshell, it's already ticking.